Hello and welcome to Lowell Park, where the Kettleers get ready to welcome the Western Division leading Wareham Gatemen. I'm Will Kraus here with fellow writer Ben Gainsboro. Ketuit's coming off a 10-6 loss to Orleans at Orleans last night. Here's Ben with a bit of the recap of that game.
Yeah, so 10-6 game in that one. There were 24 combined hits in that game, and it was a really interesting story because we went into that game, and Ketuit was a little cold offensively, and we figured that Orleans wasn't one of the toughest offensive teams in the Cape Cod League, and then guess what? They combined for 24 hits. They combined for 16 runs. Unfortunately, Ketuit got the short end of the straw in that one. Defensively, Coach Roberts, as you will hear later, was a little upset with that performance. That was 3 errors, and honestly, it could have been a little more than 3 errors. There were a couple close calls in there. We also got the update after that game that Colton Kessler will be missing at least another week of action, so that means more action for Cody Pasek and recently activated Jacob Nemeth. Okay, Coach, you've been a little critical of the defense all season long. Another 3 errors today in this ball game. For them to get over that hump to start playing better D, is that a mental hurdle or is it something that you have to preach?
I don't know. I haven't been critical. I would not use that word. I've been honest that we have not played very good defense, and I think that would anybody observing would look at it that way. And you can't drive in as many runs as you give up. So, our defense has struggled in lots of ways. I wish I could tell you why. Each one of these guys plays every day at school, and they're good enough to play quality defense, but up to this point as a team, we have not done very well. So I guess we're fortunate to be in the position we are, really, to have the record we've got right now. When you're struggling with your infield defense, then that always creates problems.
Today starts a brutal 23-game stretch for you, no days off. What are you telling to the guys to stay positive, stay physically well during this hard stretch?
Well, compete. I mean, there's really only one word. Come to the ballpark every day and compete. I mean, that's what we do this for, is to play and to get better. And I don't have a problem with 23 days in a row. I really think it tells you a lot about every player on each team. And all of these guys say they want to play pro baseball. So if you really want to play professional baseball, and I'm around it all the time with the Cubs, you got to love to play every day. And that's part of professional baseball, without a doubt. So, professional baseball is not like Omaha in the College World Series and you play once every 3 days. You got to light it up every night. It'll be fun. We'll just play the 23 days in a row and add it up at the end and see how we do.
The Wareham Gatemen, the division-leading Wareham Gatemen, at 8-5-1, come to Lowell Park for the second time this year. This game was originally set to be the third matchup between the two, but a rain out on Tuesday at Wareham made this the second matchup. Wareham took the first game here. They won 6-0 in fairly dominant fashion. And Wareham is really on a hot streak right now. They've won 3 straight, scoring over 9 runs per game in their last 3. Whereas Ketuit is coming off a little bit of a rough stretch as they lost last night to Orleans. Wareham has some fairly significant advantages in some statistical categories. They have a .287 batting average, which is the best in the Cape League, and the next best being pretty far away from them at .262 for the YD Red Sox. Ketuit ranks 5th in that category at .231 with a .231 batting average, and a pretty sizable gap between their ERAs as well, as Wareham has given up just 2.86 runs per game compared to Ketuit giving up 3.93 runs per game, where the Kettleers do have an advantage in the power category. They still lead the league with 14 home runs compared to Wareham's 6. Getting the start today, making his 4th appearance for the Gatemen, is William Fleming out of Wake Forest. He is a 6'6" right-hander with a 2.84 earned run average, so a pretty tough test for Cotuit going into this game. Reed Johnston for Cotuit will get the 2nd start of the season. He started the first half of the Twin Bill when Cotuit hosted Brewster last Sunday for a doubleheader. Cotuit won that game 5-2. He gave up 1 run in 3 innings. And a really bright spot for Cotuit here lately has been Nick Gonzalez at the top of the order. He's played every game. He has an incredible 500 on-base percentage, which is best in the Cape League for for batters with a minimum of 2.7 plate appearances per game. So Nick Gonzalez really hot, 10 for 19 in his last 5 games, including just a home run shy of the cycle last night on a 2 RBI performance against Orleans. Cotuit trails Wareham in the standings by 3 points. So if they get the win here today and tomorrow, it's going to be a tough test. But if they can do that, they'll find themselves on top of the West once again. But you know the typical saying: to beat the best, you got to be the best. You got to beat the best. Exactly. And that's what they're going to have to do today. We'll see how it goes.